scientists have just detected a powerful space laser beaming from deep space. Scientists discovered an immensely powerful radio wave laser, so powerful it is referred to as a megamaser, from the new MeerKAT telescope in South Africa. Not only is it a super strong beam, but it is also the most distant megamaser that they have been able to detect from Earth to date, with estimates putting it at about 5 billion light-years away from us. Scientists from the team who discovered this megamaser explain that these are usually formed when two galaxies collide violently. When this happens, the gases from within these galaxies become extremely dense and can shoot out highly concentrated beams of light. This new megamaser has been officially named MeerKAT, a Zulu word appropriately meaning big boss. The discovery has also triggered excitement around the MeerKAT telescope's potential. Dr. Glowacki, from the team of scientists, remarks that it's impressive that, with just a single night of observations, we've already found a record-breaking megamaser. It shows just how good the telescope is. The record-breaking discovery and insight into the power of MeerKAT has the scientific community extremely hopeful about what they might discover next from this survey, as they proceed by observing narrower parts of the night sky in extremely deep detail. The end goal will be to better understand the evolution of our universe and creation and formation of various galactic phenomena like megamasers themselves. Astronomers discover hidden trove of massive black holes. Sometimes we can look at something time and time again, still never noticing every detail. Whether it is a missed clue in your favorite film or a seemingly new brushstroke in a painting, this is something each one of us has experienced. Well, it appears that the scientific world is no exception. A research team, led by those at the University of North Carolina, has uncovered a whole host of massive black holes in dwarf galaxies, despite us looking in the areas previously. These massive black holes have been looked past over and over, but now that we know that they are there, they could have a huge potential to help us figure out the details behind the supermassive black hole in the center of the Milky Way. Our galaxy takes the form of a giant spiral, meaning, as our current understanding has us believe, it's made up of lots of small dwarf galaxies and they're merging together. One example of this is the Magellanic Clouds. These clouds are irregular galaxies that appear as an illuminated patch in the sky. They are seen in the south, and they are understood to be dwarf galaxies that will eventually become part of the Milky Way. When a new dwarf galaxy enters our galaxy, there is the potential that it brings along with it a massive black hole at its center. It's currently thought that an inevitable question of when, rather than if, this massive black hole will be absorbed by the supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way. While we acknowledge that this is a possibility, in reality, we do not know how often dwarf galaxies contain massive black holes. This is a glaring gap in our current knowledge, as we know very little about how black holes and galaxies grow, develop, and interact with one another. This new research, published in the Astrophysical Journal, helps us to connect the dots as we uncover the black holes we simply had not seen before. Lead author of the study, Magda Polomera, said, "This result really blew my mind because these black holes were previously hiding in plain sight. It can be a fairly difficult process to detect black holes, evidenced by us repeatedly glossing over them. Usually, we can find them when they take in gas, as this results in them growing and makes them glow." Professor Sheila Kanapan, the co-author of the study, likened black holes to fireflies, in that we can only see them when they are lit up. So, if the black holes are not actively growing, then we do not know how many are truly there. Adding to this confusion is that the high-energy radiation characteristic of growing black holes is not exclusively a feature of them alone. New stars can be seen to have the same high-energy radiation. The research team realized that they could test where these signals were coming from, with a different number of tests, allowing us to conclude if it is a young star being formed or a black hole growing that is being observed. So far, this research seems very promising, with a new acknowledgement that there is sometimes more to the picture than what we can see. The theories we currently hold are growing and expanding in size, allowing us to deepen our understanding, and more research will eventually be conducted, hopefully providing further evidence towards what we think we already know. Earth could have its own Saturn-like ring band due to space junk. It seems that every day we discover more and more side effects of the growing industrialization and pollution on Earth, and current evidence suggests that the debris that has accumulated on Earth is also impacting outer space as well. NASA recently released some ominous statistics claiming that there are over 100 million pieces of debris larger than a millimeter currently orbiting the Earth, with thousands of these pieces the size of a baseball or larger. Scientists estimate that, based on the gravitational pull of Earth exerted on these pieces of space debris, eventually our planet could have a massive set of rings not unlike the famous rings of Saturn, only our rings will be composed of our own detritus. These growing rings cause more than a few problems for those seeking to explore the solar system, as well as those of us stuck here on land. For starters, the trash is flying around the planet at incredibly high speeds, and there is so much of it that it is becoming increasingly difficult for satellites and spacecraft to navigate around. Because of the high speeds of the debris, an atmospheric collision with a spacecraft could be devastating, while a fast-moving piece of space detritus that manages to make it through the atmosphere could wreak havoc on the planet and those of us down below. Often, items headed towards Earth's surface burn up as they pass through the atmosphere, but this is not always the case, and the more trash that accumulates around our planet, the greater the chances that pieces could survive the fall to Earth and greatly injure those of us below. But how are we to go about cleaning up the mess above our heads before it conglomerates into an enormous ring that causes even more issues? This is a delicate issue, as the debris is spinning and orbiting at such fast speeds that many normal methods, such as grabbing the larger pieces with a robotic arm, are not feasible, as the debris would just destroy the equipment. One solution, proposed by Jake Abbott, a mechanical engineering professor at the University of Utah, was published in the science journal Nature and suggests using magnets to attract the debris instead of attempting to grab it. He proposes that this theory will work even on debris that does not have a metal component, because of the electric eddy currents generated by spinning, non-magnetic objects and activated with spinning magnets. Eddy currents are swirling, magnetically induced currents that circulate as loops of electrical current within a conductor. Although it is not currently clear whether Abbott's proposition will be effective as a way to begin the space clear-up, or where all of the collected detritus will end up, it is ultimately the first step in solving a looming problem that is only set to get worse if not addressed. NASA orbiter spots Chinese rover and tracks on Mars. Sometimes we get a chance to look at our creations from afar and look at what a great invention we have made. One opportunity for this arose recently, as on March 11, 2022, one of NASA's spacecrafts caught a glimpse of China's Zhurong rover on Mars. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter is fitted with HiRISE, the high-resolution Imagine Science experiment camera, which captured the image of the Zhurong rover. The image even managed to show around 1.5 kilometers of tracks that the rover had made since landing in May 2021, showing the southward direction of its journey. Zhurong is one aspect of China's Tianwen-1 mission, looking to explore Mars. This includes an orbiter too, and seeks to survey the surface features of the red planet. Initially, the rover was meant to stay for just 90 days, though this time has been exceeded as it continues to explore the geology present on Mars. The image is incredibly clear, given the 288 kilometers away MRO is from Zhurong, which is just 3 meters in size. TRAPPIST-1 planets could hold more water than Earth's oceans. The star called TRAPPIST-1 is a close star, approximately 40 light-years away from our own solar system, and is one that is highly interesting to scientists due to the 7 planets similar to Earth that revolve around it, After careful study of the gravitational pull that these planets exert upon each other, researchers were able to present several theories about the composition of these planets, and some of them are downright mind-boggling. Some of the planets revolving TRAPPIST-1 could have up to 250 times the total amount of water contained in all of Earth's oceans. These calculations were made as a part of the constant search for signs of extraterrestrial life, or even indications that exoplanets could potentially support life, and TRAPPIST-1 is one of the best-known and most highly studied candidates outside of our own solar system. Elements of each planet in the system has been carefully studied, as the distance and their tight orbit makes direct observation incredibly difficult. Additionally, because they all orbit exceptionally close to each other, they frequently push and pull against the gravitational forces exerted as they pass neighboring planets in the system. Simon Grimm, leader of an international team of scientists with the Center for Space and Habitability, was one of the individuals who studied this phenomenon. He said in a statement, "In the TRAPPIST-1 system, the planets are so close together that they perturb each other. This causes a slight shift in the times of each transit." The team was then able to conduct simulations of these altered orbits and apply an algorithm in order to estimate the masses of each planet, which then allowed them to calculate individual densities and compositions. This is when they realized that the 5 lightest planets in the system could each have 250 times more water than the total amount in all of Earth's oceans. This means that water makes up about 5% of their total composition compared to the measly 0.02% of Earth. This information is groundbreaking to scientists hoping to study the potential for life outside of our own Earth, especially as 3 of the planets lie within TRAPPIST-1's so-called habitable zone. Bryce Olivier Demery, a professor at the Center for Space and Habitability and co-author of the recent study detailing these results, said, "We were able to measure precisely the density of exoplanets that are similar to Earth in terms of their size, mass, and irradiation, with an uncertainty of less than 10%, which is a first and decisive step in the characterization of potential habitability." But what do you make of these recent discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.